I'm David Stark, and welcome to this week's Bay East Buzz. Recently, Leslie Appleton-Young, she's the chief economist for the California Association of Realtors, stopped by the Bay East offices, and we sat down for a long conversation. Let's check in with a portion of that conversation where she talks about the tools that she uses as an economist in predicting what's going to happen with the real estate market. Let's check it out.
With respect to the market itself and where it's going, I would say the one most critical variable that I look at in terms of where the market's heading is inventory. Absolutely inventory. How much is on the market? What kind of increase have we seen in anticipation of the spring home buying season compared to similar periods in past years? And that certainly explains the challenge of the market the last 3 or 4 years.
The world of information that's out there. We hear about interest rates, we hear about the stock market, the bond market, employment. Is that all just noise, or should we be paying attention to any of those other factors in terms of their impact on?
I think you really have to look at everything, but I do think it's important to focus on the data. Look at the numbers, right? Look at, for example, migration, right? We talked about migration earlier today. Alameda County is gaining residents from San Francisco, San Mateo, and Santa Clara. Alameda County is losing residents to Stanislaus and San Joaquin and Sonoma and Contra Costa to more affordable areas. So what is the takeaway? Housing affordability matters.
If there was one economic indicator that you would suggest people look at in terms of predicting where real estate is going to go, what would that one economic indicator be?
I think it would be inventory for sure, but clearly there's a lot of secondary factors, and you mentioned them. Mortgage rates are critical. Typically when rates go up, you get a surge in activity because it injects urgency into the market. People want to move before it's too late. It gives them a reason to get on with the transaction. I think another kind of more higher level factor is just kind of a lifestyle. There's been a lot of, or where people are in their life cycle. So there's been a lot of talk, at least a few years ago, about these millennials, right? And the millennials, they're mobile, they don't want to own homes, they're not really interested in that, they want to be able to move on a dime. All of that is wrong. You know, what the data shows is millennials are as interested in home ownership as anybody else once they settle down, get married, and have a family, right? Once they're ready to create a household. But what happened to that generation is when they graduated, there were no jobs, right? So they weren't able to kind of leave the nest. And now that they're doing that, other things are going to be important. So I don't have an easy one-off answer to that question. I think inventory is key, but it's a very dynamic landscape.
If you want to see the entire conversation with Leslie Appleton-Young, please click on this link or visit www.bayeast.org. We'll see you for the next Bay East Buzz.